So, welcome to the art and science of the healthy bowl. My name is Deborah C. Smith, and I'm so grateful to have you here with me today. And I'm just going to quickly show you where we're headed in this presentation so that you know what to expect with our time together. So, I want to start with the science of nutrition because I think it's important to understand the building blocks of what you're going to be putting into this delicious, healthy bowl. So we'll learn the essential nutrients that we can find in a balanced, healthy meal plan and on the plant-based diet. In part two, we'll talk a little bit about the art, which is the assembling of all these foods into healthy recipes, and why not make them look beautiful on the plate as well. And then in the third part, I just want to talk a little bit about the practice, which is how do you get into the habit of doing this week after week, month after month, so you can begin to really reap the health benefits of eating balanced nutrition. And I'll talk a little bit about how you can work with me too. So here we go, let's go. For anyone I don't know personally, my name's Deborah. I'm a holistic health coach. I'm a plant-based chef as well. I ran a juice bar in New York City for about 14 years. And I've done a lot of work with trying to make really healthy foods taste delicious, thereby making them more palatable. And my mission with all of my work is really to help people save time and money while also really radically improving your health and preventing illness in our bodies. So I help my clients to increase their energy, reduce risk of chronic illness, and really just like be able to go for their bigger life dreams and goals because they have balanced plant-based nutrition as a foundation for their health and healthy lifestyle. And I've been doing this for about 16 years. I've worked as a holistic health coach, nutrition coach, and as I said, a juice bar owner, producing health-focused events, working with lots of New York brands and companies, not-for-profits. And also I've had the distinguished pleasure to be the health coach too, and run large groups for thousands of busy New Yorkers who were looking to make a change in their diet and their lifestyle so that they could improve the quality of their life. But most importantly, I've really began this practice because of my own health and wellness, and I've spent years learning and practicing the stuff that I teach. So I've learned to say no to foods that drain me or have a cumulative negative effect, and I say yes to the things that light me up, bring me joy, give me energy, and don't harm my body. So I'm in this for the long haul too. So in this presentation, I want to just share with you how you can begin to make the shift from experiencing everyday symptoms of inflammation that come from just our standard American diet, right? Such as low energy, fatigue, poor sleep, excess weight gain, and even sometimes anxiety or depression, to having a plan for how you can week after week incorporate foods that would actually help to naturally combat those symptoms. So you can relieve symptoms of stress, increase energy in your body, and feel really strong and healthy as you age. So we're building this entire presentation on the premise that eating a diet rich in plant-based foods, which include fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices, and also staying hydrated with water, is really the number one proven method that we can control that will help to reduce our risk of long-term chronic illness. There are a lot of variables that impact our health that we cannot control. So we don't get to choose genetics, right? We don't get to choose who we were born to or where we were born and what type of access we have to what type of food is available, like, grown locally. What we can control is what we put into our mouths, what we feed our bodies on a cellular level, and how we treat our bodies. So that's the number one lever of our health that we have access to, that we have total control over, what we eat. And we know that eating a plant-based diet has tremendous amount of health benefits. So moving forward from there, that's what we're really basing this entire presentation on. So let's dive right into what the science is. So what's in a healthy, balanced bowl? And why does that matter? So you probably are familiar with the macro and micronutrients, but here's a quick snapshot. So our macronutrients consist of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And then, of course, water, people often don't realize is actually a nutrient. We need to stay hydrated. And then our micronutrients would be our vitamins and our minerals. And in a nutshell, way to think about this is that macronutrients we need larger quantities of, right? So carbohydrates give us energy to function. protein, it helps to build healthy muscles that uphold our skeleton. We need healthy fat to help our brain function and for so many other metabolic processes. And then our micronutrients, it's not that they're less important, it's just that we need them in slightly smaller doses than the macros. So that's a quick nutshell way to think about it. But just to underscore that those vitamins and minerals that we get a lot of from our plant-based nutrition are just as critical as the macronutrients, and a deficiency in any of these could cause an imbalance in the system that could eventually lead to problems with your health. So we want to keep them all in balance. So a way that I approach this with my clients and with inside of my nutrition programs is based on the Daily Dozen. Now, the Daily Dozen is a concept that was, it's a term that was coined by Dr. Michael Greger. He wrote a book called How Not to Die, and it's sort of the plant-based whole foods Bible. Dr. Greger has spent his entire career as a physician studying the impact that nutrition has on our long-term health. And in particular, he looks at how nutrition impacts chronic illnesses. So from that research and all of that data, we've got this great body of empirical data and knowledge about how plants can help to heal imbalances in the system. So Dr. Greger's put together a really fantastic resource in that book. I highly recommend it. I can drop a link for that. So the 12 categories of foods and beverages that we should consume on a daily basis to get a complete spectrum of healthy nutrition from a plant-based diet, we call that the Daily Dozen. And I should note that this is not me giving you a dietary recommendation. It's simply the objective of sharing this is so that you can better understand what nutrients are available to us from the plant kingdom and to conceive that it's possible to get most, if not all, of your nutrition satisfied through the plant-based or vegan diet. So what I'm about to share with you assumes that you don't consume animal protein, but it is not a judgment. If you eat meat, that's fine as well. And I would just say, know that the amount of servings that I'm about to share with you would shift and be different if you also consume animal protein. And that's all that you need to know about that. So let's dive into the Daily Dozen. Here they are, the miraculous 12 food groups that are recommended to consume if you're eating a plant-based diet. So let's start with one, legumes or beans. It's recommended three servings per day. And I think a serving size is a half a cup. So legumes are considered the highest source of protein in the plant kingdom. There's also loads of other health benefits, vitamins and minerals. But the main thing we think about when we're consuming legumes is they're giving us a lot of protein. Okay, so moving on, we've got berries. And as you can see, it's recommended to have berries as its own category, one serving per day, about a half a cup. That's because they're the anthocyanin, which is the dark, rich blue, red, or purple pigment in berries. It's a very high-powered antioxidant. And because of the antioxidant properties in berries, they get their own category. Next, we have other fruits. It's recommended to get 3 servings per day of other fruits, and that could be anything from your citrus to anything with seeds in it, right? So even an avocado is a fruit, technically. There's great melons. There are great, all the citrus is a great category. Watermelon, apples, bananas, pears, apricots, cherries. There's so many ways to consume fruit. So moving on, we've got cruciferous vegetables, and I just want to point out the next 3 categories are all vegetables, and they're 3 different kinds. So 4 is cruciferous vegetables, 1 serving per day. 5 is dark leafy greens or greens as a family, and that's 2 servings per day. And then we have other veggies, 2 servings per day. Now, the reason why they're broken down that way is because the nutrition is different in each of them. So cruciferous vegetables are very rich in magnesium, a critical mineral that we're often deficient in. And especially on the plant-based diet, it's important to get enough magnesium from plants. So we prioritize cruciferous vegetables. That'd be like your brocchiaceous family, broccoli, cauliflower, your cabbages, and kale. So other greens would include spinach, arugula, Swiss chard, all your lettuces, bok choy, yu choy. There's so many great, healthy, delicious greens, and they have a wide variety of spectrum of vitamins and minerals. But greens in general have phytochemicals, phytonutrients, and they're very alkalizing, so they're great for our digestive system. And important in the plant-based and anti-inflammatory diet. So other vegetables would be like a catch-all container for all of the starchy vegetables that are a little bit sweeter. And if you think about it, when you think about eating a piece of corn or a sweet potato or carrots, you can taste the sweetness in them. And that's because they do have starch in them. So that's why they get their own category, because you're getting slightly different nutrition. So that would include all of your squash family, right? Summer squashes, winter squashes. I've already said corn, I've already mentioned potatoes, and root veggies like beets, parsnips, turnips, radishes, asparagus would also be in that category, cucumber. So there's a lot of vegetables in the vegetable kingdom, and we just want to make sure that you're getting 2 servings per day in just the other veg category and thinking about it in that way. Okay, moving on, we've got flaxseed in its own category. The reason that Dr. Greger prioritizes giving this its own category is because it's a very, very rich source of omega-3 fatty acids. So omega-3s are hard to get in plant sources. We often get the omega-3s from fatty fish like mackerel and salmon. So he prioritizes flaxseed because you can get a full spectrum of that omega-3 fatty acid from flax seeds. They're also highly anti-inflammatory. It's an antioxidant. So flaxseed is a really important food that we want to consume. So, all right, moving on to herbs and spices. The herbs and spices that we consume in our food are highly medicinal. They're typically anti-inflammatory. There can be so many different nutritional benefits to including fresh herbs and dehydrated or dried spices and roots. Turmeric, one of the most anti-inflammatory foods in the world. Ginger, similarly very anti-inflammatory. It also lowers incidence of pain. And then you can think about like cinnamon is actually a warming spice. Nutmeg, a lot of times we cook with spices because they have medicinal qualities. They also help to balance things in our system. Then we have nuts and seeds, and they get their own category because they're a very rich source of healthy fat. Whole grains, and whole grains are an incredibly rich source of protein. And in fact, often when we mix a whole grain such as quinoa or brown rice or amaranth or millet with a legume, we get enough protein to be equivalent to a piece of steak or chicken. So if you are switching over to plant-based and want to eat more plant foods, know that you can get adequate protein from the plant kingdom. And then of course we have water, as I mentioned earlier, it's a nutrient. We do need to stay hydrated. You could think of 2.5 liters per day for women or 2 to 3. And for men, it's recommended to take 3 to 4 liters of water. Okay, and then exercise. So in the Daily Dozen, we include exercise because it plays such a critical role in helping to metabolize all of these wonderful foods and get them into our bloodstream. So it moves our lymphatic system. It helps to release stored energy, and it helps to stimulate our digestive system, which helps to eliminate excess stored foods that we want to get out of our system. So exercise is plays a critical role in the overall digestion of our nutrition. So we include that, and we want to do 30 minutes of moving our body in a way that feels good every day. Let's move on to the balanced bowl formula. So this is where we get into the art. So the art of putting all those foods together in a way that makes them taste good and that looks pretty on your plate is something that I have practiced for quite a long time. And I've created a simple formula that I give to all of my clients and I share in all of my programs. And I'm going to share that with you right now. I call it the Balanced Bowl Formula. It's a quick reference. You can download it from the link that's in the chat. And this is what it looks like. It's just a simple PDF document. You can print it out and hang it on your refrigerator. And this is something that you can refer to for the different categories that you want to be including when you're building a healthy balanced bowl. And also at the very bottom, you'll see that I have a how to build your bowl ratio. It's a little wheel at the bottom that tells you the percentage of each. So if you see, I've got starting with a base of your dark leafy greens, getting in maybe that's some of your cruciferous veggies if you're using kale, but maybe it's your leafy greens. So you're getting, Swiss chard spinach, arugula, which is rocket, bok choy, romaine, any lettuces. You want a nice foundation of greens in your bowl. And then you're going to add veggies in there. So you want to make sure that you've got a nice portion of veggies. You could get 1 to 2 servings of your daily intake of veggies in this bowl. And you've got lots of options. You might want to add cold veggies like cucumbers and radishes, or broccoli, or you can roast your veggies. Sweet potatoes could go in there, cauliflower, zucchini, tomatoes, cabbages, anything you like. Okay, and then also fruit, right? This is a great opportunity to get some of those, one of those 3 servings per day of fruit in your bowl. So think about dehydrated things like cranberries or apricots or raisins. You could have papaya in your bowl, slices of mango, coconut, shredded coconut could go in your bowl. That's a fruit. Goji berries, blueberries, strawberries. I love to make a spinach salad bowl with strawberries, cucumber, avocado, and a nice dressing, and a lot of spinach and maybe some tofu. So it's one of my favorite balanced bowl recipes. So, and then protein, of course, we need to make sure we're getting protein in every meal. So, excuse me, we've got quinoa as an option. We've got brown rice as an option for protein. I've listed several animal proteins there: eggs, salmon, grilled chicken, lentils, one of the highest and most powerful sources of plant protein that you can consume. Peas also offer incredible protein, chickpeas. So there's lots of different proteins that you can include in your bowl. And we'll be trying to get in at least 1 serving, maybe 2, depending on what meal you're eating. And then healthy fat, of course, avocado, you've got seeds, have healthy fat, right? We talked about flax seeds, chia seeds, also sesame seeds. Nuts are a great source of healthy fat. Walnuts are a great one, macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts. You've got olive oil, which you could use in a dressing or just drizzle it on your salad or on your bowl. Tahini is a great source. Tahini is the paste of sesame seeds, an excellent source of healthy fat, and coconut oil is another good one. And then we've got our complex carbohydrates, right? We want to make sure we're getting some of those starchy carbs in there. So we've got corn, parsnips, peas, brown rice, millet. See that you can get some of it from grains and some of it from veg. Sweet potato is one of my favorite to include in a bowl. I love to roast a sweet potato and then add it right into my bowl in different portions. And then extra nourish is a way to think about embellishing your bowl, making it taste delicious, maybe adding some other nutritional benefits such as digestive wellness. So sauerkraut and kimchi, as well as apple cider vinegar, they're all very helpful to digestion. Lemon juice is a great way to add a little bit of acid to your bowl. Nutritional yeast is a superfood on the plant-based diet. It's loaded with nutritional benefits, and it also adds that kind of like a cheesy flavor, which I love. Sesame seeds, feta cheese. If you do eat dairy, you could include a small portion of feta. You would get some healthy fat and some healthy protein from that. And then again, at the bottom, you've got a chart on how to balance this all. So when it comes to our health, we know that eating a spectrum of vibrant, fresh, colorful foods and getting all of our nutrients into these beautiful balanced bowls is critical. We know that it's going to give us the energy that we need to get through the day without crashing and burning. We know that it's going to fuel us so that we don't reach for things that have empty calories later in the day when we start to crash. We know that it will help us to eliminate excess sugar out of our systems that we don't need. When we're eating a full spectrum of healthy foods, we tend to have more energy, get better sleep, have a better mood, get better exercise. All of these things come into balance. But there is one major challenge, and I hear this from every one of my clients across the board. They tell me that it's not as easy as it looks. They always tell me that the number one challenge that they face is time. So prepping for healthy meals can be time consuming, right? Shopping, it can be expensive. It can get overwhelming if you're not sure exactly what ingredients you need to be searching for. When you're thinking about nutrition and balancing, meals for an entire family, if you've got a picky eater, these are all things that come up over and over again that work as a deterrent to people for planning out healthy, balanced meals. It just feels too much. It's time consuming. It's I'm not sure what I'm doing. And then let's face it, if healthy foods are not already prepped and ready to cook at the end of the day at 5 p.m. when we get out of work, exhaustion can set in, and then we just settle back on takeout or previously cooked foods, prepackaged meals that have a lot of additives and preservatives, or processed foods that just sort of solve the problem of getting a meal on the table for the family or for even just for yourself. So I know this is a challenge, and honestly, that would be fine every once in a while, but the truth is that poor quality nutrition can be the cause of so many health issues that down the road in life, as we age, we are trying to avoid, right? So high cholesterol levels, type 2 diabetes, excess weight gain, these are all problems that we start to really face as we age, and for women, especially as our hormones change, We get, joint pain, sometimes irritable bowel syndrome, itchy or dry skin, flaky scalp. These are all things that people experience when we have inflammation in our system from poor quality nutrition. And then all of those things can lead to anxiety, depression, poor quality sleep. So we want to avoid that to the best of our ability. And as I've already stated in the beginning of this session, nutrition is the number one lever of our health that we control. So my solution to all of this and that I offer to my clients is to create a habit, a healthy habit out of weekly meal prep. When we start to do little small segments of prep for these healthy meals, it becomes less daunting. And we have balanced plant-based nutrition regularly disseminated throughout our week. It's the key to supporting our health on a regular basis. Home cooked meals that have been prepped in advance is a real solution to all of those problems. So imagine if you had all of that done for you in a balanced, healthy meal plan and pre-organized recipes without having to break the bank, without having to spend hours and hours prepping, without going to culinary school, without having to go to health school like I did, health coaching school. I created a very simple system for people to follow that allows for healthy, balanced meals to not only be possible, but for it to also be fun and something that you enjoy doing. I created a system and a little program called Balance Bowls for Busy Pros. So the goal is that you can create healthy meals on a regular basis without having to wonder if you're getting the right nutrients, without having to do any research on the internet for the recipes, because I've done all that for you. So you'll get the following tools. You'll get nutritionally designed meal plans, shopping lists organized by food type, broken down step-by-step prep guides, essential nutrition facts, a little mini trainings and mindset trainings, and a set up weekly system for implementing all of it so that you really start to practice healthy meal prep. You'll also get automatically added into my private membership, which is a space where we have weekly challenges. There's other like-minded people in there that are doing these same practices. I send a lot of reminders, there's group support, and then there's 2 live trainings every month inside that. So you'll get 2 live Zoom cooking classes, meal prep sessions. We follow a specific meal plan. It's very fun. We get together in our kitchens on Zoom and actually do the work. And then the 3rd week of every month, I offer a live Q&A where everybody can ask me questions. You can jump on live with me and get really specific and get coached live around any challenges you might be having with the meal plans or with your own choices and goals that you want to implement. I've got great clients. I'm very proud to say that I opened this program a couple of months ago. I've already got 80 people who have joined me inside the program. And Brenda says that it was so valuable because she learned ways to simplify. And also she's been eating plant-based for years, but she wasn't really balancing her nutrition. So she says it helped her get the right kind of nutrition that she needs in a day. And then one of my clients, Susan, told me that she ditched the sugar as a result of the program, and she's got so much more energy as a result. So I always say that the quality of our lives depends on the quality of our habits. It's my favorite quote from James Clear, and it really is about little tiny baby steps. So forming a healthy habit is something that could have lifelong lasting benefits. So I really want to help you build that practice. And the entire program I kept it a very low price point. It's only $147. But for anyone who joined me here today live, when you use the code BALANCE, you're going to get $50 off. So that is a great deal that I'm offering to you guys for being with me today. So I'm really excited about the program. It's time for Q&A, and we will get right to it.